Good afternoon. I am Myles Sergé alongside my super dope, wonderful bestie in the world, co-host, homeboy. What else are you? Mentor. Mr. D-KNOX, how are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm great, man. Even if I'm not great, I trick my mind and I always say I'm always great. Because words, they're powerful. So you'll be saying, I'm tired, I'm done, I don't feel good. That's exactly what you're going to experience. So think the trick, smile. Oh, I'm great. I'm good. I'm not living outside in the streets. I come home, I got food in the refrigerator. I can take a hot shower. I got family. I got like you're my family, friends, people that love me. So life is great. I can think of people having some real problems in some of them countries, maybe waking up, losing a hearing or losing family members or something.
Very true.
We're in this case, I feel like a millionaire. Probably I would consider myself very spoiled and fortunate.
Okay.
Because we forget what we already have most of the time. I don't know. I every day I make thanks to everything I have. First, my health.
Right.
You can see, you can hear, you can think, you can breathe, you can walk normal, you can feed yourself.
Right.
So, that's already right there. So
that's true.
And what's going on with you?
See, unlike D, I'm broke and I need money. So I'm happy for everything I got. So don't get me wrong, but he's right. He's so positive. He's always positive. I'm like in the middle. I'm never like, I'll just stay in the middle. I'm all right, man. Slaving away at the workshop. We did 12 hours last night. Crazy. And they're talking about.
Think about this though. There's somebody in the world that wish they could be in your spot right now. They would love to have them hours.
That is true.
Probably like 1,000. So when you see that, you could be, oh heck no, I'm going to work.
See, I gotta look at it that way. That's a good point because I'm like, man, I hate this job and this and that. But if I didn't do it, I didn't have it, I don't know where I would be in this world today. At least for right now. I won't say it today.
Yeah, you might just not like it because maybe it's too routine. You go, the same thing. I gotta leave. I gotta go at this time. But try to look at the other things. Okay, what is it doing for me right now? Like it doesn't mean I gotta stay in here. Maybe I'm gonna do this now and use the money for now, but be looking at ways to get out, do my own thing, or if I do stay here, maybe somehow doing a different department where I can lower my hours and but I would be thinking that, man, there's 50 other mugs ready to jump in here and take this over right now, and they'll work even longer than me.
That is very true. That being said, until my DJ career takes a super giant leap, I can be a superstar one day. It's kind of late for that, so I am doing this and I'm working. That being said, like, share, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. Make sure you do it. It pushes up us into those algorithms so people can say, hey, what the hell's going on? There you go. I like that. That'll be the new thing.
Guy. Don't y'all want to see us float like Puff Daddy up in the clouds?
I don't know about Puff Daddy, bro.
Yeah. Puffer Daddy.
That's Puff Daddy. We ain't puffy, but yeah, so like, share, subscribe to the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. It helps us out again. As we always say, if you don't want to see us, we understand, but why wouldn't you? The podcast is also available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So were you, at work, on the jog, in the car,
on the bus,
beating the kids, you don't want to see nothing, you can just listen, listen to us. We greatly appreciate it. We are also on Instagram, MS Live with D-KNOX. That is MS Live with D-KNOX. Follow us there. Hopefully we're going to start posting more pictures, like behind the scenes stuff and just stuff in random general. Like if you've seen like D was out having fun the other day, we're going to do stuff like that to keep y'all updated. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Myles Sergé. Email us, hate mail, love mail, hate mail, mslivewithdknox@gmail.com. That is mslivewithdknox@gmail.com. So today we're doing something a little different from now on. Give you a new way to support us. It's kind of behind the scenes. We're trying to figure it out. If you happen to notice in that corner that there's a QR code, if you want to help us keep the movement going, you can donate to the cause. Cash App us. Where'd it go? It just disappeared. Huh. Well, maybe don't Cash App us. You can send us a Cash App. That's cool. Cash App at Myles Sergé or scan that QR code. Helps us out. Pay some bills. That's cool. Also, while we're here right now, we're gonna just take up some other business. Oh, I see what's going on. I'm hitting the damn button. So, be sure if you ever see the end of the show, we do have sponsors, kind of pseudo sponsors to help us out, with product or just friends or whatever. Leakin Street Soap this weekend only is having a sale. Hit the promo code MS with D-KNOX for 20% off and free shipping. The address is right there. They're also on Instagram. Check us out. That's my homegirl Mo. That's her spot. Good soap. Go check it out. Promo code MS with D-KNOX for 20% off this weekend only. So do us a favor, go check us out. So today we have God, I can't say he's up and coming because he's out there. He's doing his thing, man.
He's definitely out there.
He's out there, like out there. And I'm happy to see young people doing the thing because we're like old as hell. But he's doing it. He's taking things forward. He's got mad energy. And he's just a dope guy, man. And I had the honor to have him on my compilation. He gave me a track. We've been talking behind the scenes for a little bit. But I was honored that he said that I would do the show. So this has kind of been months coming, so I'm actually happy to do it. So let me shut my mouth and just bring him on the stage right now because I'm just talking, I'm just rambling. And, I'm so excited. So let's bring him to the stage, Mr. DECODER.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, man?
All good. How are y'all?
We're all right, man. We're all right.
Man.
Trying to survive in this world. I know you just came back. You just told me I just literally came off the plane like a half an hour ago. So
Yeah.
I know you're tired and you're doing your thing. So where are you coming from?
I just went to The Hague for a show, and luckily I passed out on the flight. And I got one of these now, so
Oh,
I'm ready to go all night.
cool. That's the peach joint?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't get many options here in Europe because of like health regulations or whatever.
Okay.
So I have to be a bit more selective with which flavors I get to drink. But
That's cool, man. That's cool.
We're here.
All right.
So you're in Europe right now.
Now.
Yeah. I moved to
Okay.
Berlin like 3-4 months ago in the summer.
Hey man, I'm gonna be there in 2 weeks. Actually,
Really? Nice.
I'm just coming down to socialize and hang out with Damon. Damon Wild's gonna be playing in Bergheim again.
Oh yeah, I
So
saw the lineup. That whole weekend looks insane. I think that's the same weekend Jane Fitz is playing.
I think
right?
it's like DBS1's like night or something like that. But
Yeah.
I was going down there anyway to like hit up a few record stores and everything. So if you're
Nice.
around,
Yeah,
be
let
nice
me
to
know.
link up in person.
Get in touch.
We
yeah,
get a
would love
picture
to
for the
hang out.
show.
That would be
Yeah,
dope.
let's do it. And
Yeah.
I have a few records here I can send home with you if you like.
That's dope.
Let's
When
do
did you
it.
move over?
Like around the end of June.
Oh, okay.
I finally found this place, and it's just been kind of in and out, and I had to go back to the States a couple times for shows and for family stuff and for a friend's wedding and stuff. So it's like I live here now, but like I'm barely around right now. So
Right,
it's just been
right.
kind of like a home base right now. But yeah, it's been fun.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So if you've been paying attention and watching the show, we tend to name each episode. So you're no different. So we name this episode for you too.
We're
Episode 28, Ewing with DECODER.
You're gonna have to enlighten me here.
Oh,
JR Dallas. JR Dallas.
No idea.
Okay,
I'm very, very tone deaf to my own
Okay.
he's young.
hometown.
So I'll let Donnell explain to him who J.R. Ewing is.
Okay. JR he's a villain. And well, some people didn't think he was a villain, but for me, he was a villain. But it was this famous show called Dallas, and everybody
Oh,
used
the
to say
show,
JR,
yeah.
yeah, JR Dallas. It's funny thing is this dude, he was also the guy in I Dream of Jeannie. He
Right.
played that role too.
Mhm.
But JR is like, and he's known in both roles, but JR is like, you know,
Very
he's that villain.
infamous.
But when you get off and you check it on YouTube, you'll see what he mean. He got that hat on, he be pulling them stunts.
Yeah.
Hardcore gangster pimp, yo.
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny you say that. Like, I don't know who J.R. Ewing is, but
Mhm.
I do randomly have this crazy info about the show Dallas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was filmed in the suburb I live in. Like, I live in a suburb of Dallas called Frisco, and there's
Mhm.
this empty like anchor or like acreage farm called Brinkman Ranch, and you can still see like the old farmhouse that they filmed Dallas at.
Oh
It's
wow.
like burnt down, but it's still there, and it's
Yeah.
literally like 2 minutes away from my house.
Dang.
Crazier story is my mom back in India, like in the 70s, used to watch that show, and now she lives right next to where
Oh,
they filmed it. Like, and at the time when she was watching it, she had no idea like where that was
Yeah.
in Texas or anything. So
Yep.
like
That was
super small
that
world.
was a show, man.
that
That was like
Yeah,
and the stuff they got away with, you couldn't do that now. And that was
yeah,
80s. You could half the stuff you couldn't do.
it's nuts. Yeah,
Poor man.
it's crazy how much of an industry Dallas already was even back then.
I
And
do
like
for
the
sure.
fact that they
Yeah.
captured that was nuts.
For sure.
So man, with him being from Dallas, I definitely got to ask him. Do you know my brother Plex?
Not personally, but I'm a
Okay.
huge fan of his music. All the Matrix and Marielle Ito stuff, all the 80s synth
Yeah.
pop, like electro stuff is I've
Okay.
grown up with it, so it's like it's super really nice. Like big fan of his music, but I've never met him personally though.
I mean, I haven't. Well, last time I saw him, last time we hung out was in London at Printworks, because he had
Nice.
booked me for a show. But he keeps in touch from time to time. But I haven't seen I don't know what he's been up to lately though.
Yeah,
I haven't
as far
seen
as
or
I
heard
know,
anything.
I thought he lives in Spain now or something, or I don't
He's
know.
there. Sometimes he's there in Spain and back in Dallas. But yeah, he might be in Spain right now. But see, that's the thing. It's been a minute since we chatted. So
Yeah,
I don't know. But I had to ask because him
no,
coming from there
definitely.
too.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone from Dallas is very low key, even like when they're at that like high level. Like you never really know what's happening down there. It's a very like isolated city, like for lack of a better word. Also, it's just so far from everything. Like I feel like it's hard to really keep track of what everyone's up to. Like I myself don't even know what like half the people in town are up to these days. So
Oh wow. That's crazy. So that being
Yeah.
said, how did you get wrapped up in this world of techno? Like how
Yeah.
did you what yeah, what's what's the story? Like how
It's
old
a
were
great
you
question. How far back do you want to go?
as far back as you
Far
want
as
to go,
back as you
bro?
can. Go back to the
Yeah, I
baby's
mean,
womb.
yeah, I mean, it all really starts with my mom because she grew up in this like pretty conservative part of India,
Mhm.
and she basically like grew up for some reason at that time in the late 70s, like early 80s in India, like mainstream music and like music from the Western world wasn't really that accessible, but a lot of people who would travel to Europe at the time for work would come back with like pirated mixtapes and cassette like mixes, and it was all like super illegal, but for some reason her dad would give her those mixtapes and it would have like Funky Town on it, and then it would have Kraftwerk and this German band Modern Talking. I don't know if y'all are
Mhm.
familiar.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, a lot of that very early 70s like disco, funk, like pop music, whatever. So she grew up like listening to that, and she would always play that for me as a kid, and I grew up listening to that and like Michael Jackson and Prince. It was like all her favorite music.
Okay.
And I don't know, I feel like that just really instilled that like love for electronic music kind of early on, and I was always just into rhythm and like repetitive sounds, and I picked up the drums when I was like 5 or 6. Like that's when I really started playing it, as well as like classical like Indian hand percussion like tablas, and there's this other South Indian one called a mridangam. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar, but it's like you hold it sideways and it's got like a bass on the left and then like a
Oh
tone
yeah,
sound on the right,
Yeah.
yeah,
and like you
yeah.
can get really crazy like tones out of it. And to me in that way it was like not only rhythm but also texture, which is literally kind of the foundation of what techno is. And
Mhm.
I feel like, yeah, I was just always around, and I was really into video games growing up too, like video game music, all the Japanese like Nintendo stuff, like super crazy. And yeah, like by the time I was like 8 or 9, like I wanted to join a band because like I was playing drums. I was like, ooh, I could be like part of a band or something. But I lived in the suburbs of Dallas where all the houses are super spaced out. Like I didn't really know where to go find people to like be in a band with. And so then like I just kind of turned to like technology because like I'm also like I was born in 2004, so I kind
Right.
of grew up with like the birth of like Apple and like iPhones, iPads, whatever. And so like my mom had told me about GarageBand on the iPad and was like, why don't you just like start there? That way you can just make whatever you want. And I would do like really bad like pop edits and stuff and just like try to like make my own versions. And I think when I was 10, that's when I started like diving a little deeper and I found out that some of my favorite like video game composers were using Fruity Loops.
Hmm.
And so for Christmas, my sister bought me like the very basic edition of FL Studio. And then since I was 10, I would just start like messing with FL Studio. And I've just been using that ever since. But I
Fruity
would say
Loops.
that, yeah, that's been like the basic like introduction to electronic music. Like it's definitely always been around. And I just think I just naturally gravitated towards techno because it's so like rhythmic, percussive in nature. And
Right.
also very in line with this whole like sci-fi like video game like surrealist like otherworldly kind of motif that other music doesn't really capture in the way that techno does. So yeah, that's kind of like the basics.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So, like, what was it like the first artist that you really encountered? It like, you know,
uh for techno,
for techno.
weirdly enough, do you know the Spanish artist Tensol by any
Yeah.
chance? From he's like with the Pole Group guys. Like I just randomly found like one of his moored releases on YouTube when I was like maybe 12 or 13, and like I just came up like through the algorithm just randomly, and I just really liked the artwork, so I clicked on it and then my mind was blown. I was just like, where has this music been my whole life? It was
Right.
like it's literally just a kick drum. It's like this really stripped back synth. The cymbals kind of build up and they flow and then the track's over, and I was like, this is what I've been looking for. It's like solid rhythm, no words, it's very to the point, it's very matter of fact, it's very like it is what it is, and that's it. And I was hooked. And then this was also like maybe a year or two before COVID. And I had by that point had like I'd stopped playing sports and stuff. So I was just like locked up in my room, like pretty much just like ready to deep dive, watch all the documentaries. And then I found all the legends, Jeff Mills, Richie Houghton, all those guys, and did my homework. And from there, it was just like started really getting into all the specifics. I think shortly after Tensol, I got into Terrence Dixon and
Okay.
Alexa Kerala, and those two guys for me are like genius on another level. Like minimalism done right with class, but there's so much soul and emotion and storytelling to their music, and for me, like nothing can beat those guys like on a personal level.
Right. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, I had something, but I think I'm talking too much. What you got, D? I don't want to crowd.
Well, I do. I was going to ask about the Delson. What was it like working with Marcel on Delson?
It's funny you say that. I've never once spoken to Marcel in my life.
Never?
Because
Oh wow.
yeah, I had
Wow.
sent off demos to Delson, and this guy Thijs, his DJ
Okay.
name is Matic, maybe also from the Netherlands. He's completely taken over the whole like A&R process for Delson, but it was really nice working with them. We had like a conversation going for maybe like better half of 2 years, and I just kept sending stuff back and forth, a few playlists, and then they would be like, hey, like we really like these tracks, but I think they're very particular with their sound. Like they go for this
he
very
is. That's
deep,
why I was
like,
asking.
stripped back aesthetic. So it was definitely a lot of back and forth. And to be completely honest, on the EP I did with them, like the first 3 tracks, I'm not even a huge fan of because they were more like jams or like these really quick sketches that I made, and I feel like it wasn't my most refined work.
Mhm.
But I felt like they did compromise with me. They took a chance. I was like really keen to put out electro with them just because I've been writing a lot of electro lately. I've just been trying to like scratch that itch in my brain, and they were super down to put out that last electro track on the EP. So I feel like there was a bit of like compromise there, but they're like a super solid team, like really nice to work with, and you can tell they really care about curating something very specific to their vision, which a
Yeah.
lot of labels don't really do that these days. I feel like, especially in Europe, I feel like they just put out what they think will sell or what they think will make money. Like,
That gets
even
a
going to
little.
the sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean,
Even like going to the record shops here, like compared to 2 years ago, I'm seeing like the same like 5 to 10 labels at the shops, and like because even the record stores themselves are like really scared to take risks and like buy something that they think could be cool because they just want to like make profit, which I can understand because you know you don't want your business to go out of like bankrupt
yeah,
or whatever,
they gotta
but
pay the bills.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I feel like it's when you like stay authentic and you take those risks that people actually will appreciate what you're doing and if not pour more money into it. But it's going to be a bit of a loss at first, like any big investment. But I feel like it would do so much more culturally for the music. And it's nice that Delson is still like taking some of those chances with some artists, especially like
Yeah.
newer guys like me, like because I'm just like hear like stuff shoving music down their throat telling them like hey like let's do it, but
Right.
it's really gives me a lot of hope for sure for the future.
Yeah.
And earlier you were saying that you mentioned that Fruity Loops was your DAW of choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, is when I'm hearing this, because in the beginning, my humble beginnings in the digital world, when I was leaving behind the analog world
yeah,
for a moment, that's the same thing. I was a heavy user of Fruity Loops back
yeah.
then, but the way I was doing was crazy because I was literally recording the audio straight out of Fruity Loops into SoundForge,
Oh
and
wow,
it was giving it like a yeah, like a raw edge kind of sound.
it
And I,
felt warmer.
yeah, and I
Mhm.
probably did about 5 or 6 releases. A lot of them were
Nice.
through integral distribution, just using Fruity Loops actually.
Yeah,
And then my cousin Jay and others kept, man, you should use Live. You should use Able. I was like, yeah, but man, it does 15 minutes and I got 4 tracks and
exactly.
Fruity Loops, you know, like, so
Yeah,
why
you
am
can
I
work really
trying to,
fast. Yeah,
yeah, it was only later I was rewiring Fruity Loops into Ableton. I kept using it. And then finally I just moved on to Ableton because I was able to, you know, do more obviously and just, but I think Fruity Loops you can still do a lot because I know most hip hop producers use it, and I
still
think
use it. Yeah.
it does have a different sound, even though it's a DAW. It does sound different to me a
Yeah.
bit, but so it's just fascinating for me to hear that you're using
Mhm.
Totally.
Fruity
And for
Loops.
me, yeah, it's all about workflow. Like you can do the same thing in every DAW. Like I know Ableton is like 10 times easier to record. Like if you have a lot of hardware and like synths, it's 10 times easier to just sync everything up and record and then just get going.
Hmm.
But for me, I kind of like the challenge and the inconvenience of having to
Hmm.
set it up. Is like also FL Studio is so colorful. It feels like you're playing a video game. Like,
Yeah,
and for me, like
it does.
the way my brain works, like if I look at Ableton or like any of those like old like tracker DAWs like that have that very like grid layered like formatting or whatever, like it just feels like a corporate job to me, and that's like kind of what I've been trying to escape my whole life. Like I don't want to feel like
Mhm.
I'm looking at Excel and spreadsheets my whole life. Like I love how colorful FL Studio is. Like when you're EQing, it's like it's a rainbow and like it's
Mhm.
cool. Like
Yeah.
it,
Now, do
like
you do everything inside the DAW, or do you have some hardware pieces too that you route into the DAW?
I have a few like pieces of gear. I have this like Behringer 808 clone just because like I'm a huge
Yeah,
sucker for the 808s. And then I have the Boutique 101 and the 909. That way, like anytime I'm not like feeling like looking at a screen, I can have something to just mess around with,
right.
spark some creativity. But
Okay.
I honestly like I just love the convenience of having everything on my laptop. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely very much an internet kid. Like I really love jamming with synths, but I don't have the patience to set it
Right.
up all the time. So
Yeah, it
very,
is
very
easier what you
ADHD. Yeah.
said. It is easy because when I did that first with Fruity Loops, I had sampled my whole old studio. And I said, okay, I sampled it. So I'm gonna just put that on the computer, make my tracks
Yeah.
that way, and mistakenly sold a lot of gear, which I regret. But
Yeah.
later I got them
Same.
all back just in the smaller versions,
Yeah.
you know. So I said this time no. It would be a high risk set, you know,
Yeah.
because sometimes like you, I'm just in the DAW. And
Right.
sometimes even on the iPhone or the iPad, because I made stuff in Ableton Note,
Oh,
you
nice.
know, and people didn't know,
Yeah.
you know, right in the app.
Right.
So
I think like
it
Gorillaz did something like that too. Like that album Plastic Beach they did in 2010.
Mhm.
Like he wrote half of it on GarageBand while he was like touring the
Oh wow.
States. Like,
Yeah.
and, like
It's just
it's
it's
really
all
like
your mind, man. You know, it's like if you can use this or that, but this is all about your mind,
yeah,
basically, because
exactly.
these are just tools. So if you use
Pretty
a
much.
computer, iPhone, studio gear, you know, whatever it takes to get the track out.
That's all that
Yeah.
matters. Yeah. My friend literally said this
Mhm.
the other day. I forget who was telling me this. He was like, it's about the ear, not the gear, which I love that. I
True.
love that.
It's very true. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what was your first release?
Uh, in the techno, okay, because I did this like huge stint of like just Bandcamp releases, which I'm very embarrassed about. I think that's been my it's been a blessing and a curse because I'm a very impatient person. Like the minute I make something, regardless of whether it's quality control, whether it's good, whether it's bad, I'm like, oh, I just need to like put it out there. And like you can still find like old YouTube videos from when I was making EDM. You
Mm-hmm.
could find them somewhere on the internet because I was just so impatient and rushing them. But I did do like a string of Bandcamp releases when I started really getting into techno. It was all like super like Robert Hood, Rock inspired, like minimal like 909 jams and stuff like that, which was kind of cool. But I would say my first proper release was on this Italian label called Antiterra,
Mm-hmm.
run by this dude Geary. Maybe you're familiar, but we used to just chat online
Heard
on
the label before.
yeah, he's super about it. He loves the whole Jeff Mills futurism, retro futurism, like sci-fi kind of themes and stuff. And his label was putting out really cool stuff. And right around COVID, we started like chatting on Facebook Messenger, and I would just send him a bunch of music, and I would say that would be like the first like proper EP I would put out under Decoder that I also was like really proud of. And I recorded all of it with I would just jam the 909,
Mhm.
just do like one take jams, and then just try to like use like stock FL Studio plugins to like build a world around it. And like I kind of like that way of working. It's like just start with the drums and then build everything around it and like fit it to the drummer, which yeah. I
Yeah.
would say that was like the first proper release. And then shortly after, I think 6 months later, we did the Axis album with Jeff.
Okay.
Dope.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Mills.
It's crazy. Like I sit back and like I see like everything I've seen personally, like what you've accomplished in, I won't say it in a short amount of time, but it seems like that, especially your age. You know what I mean? If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, like you recently just turned 21, correct?
Yeah, back in April.
Back in April. So
30th,
that's when,
yeah.
yeah, I just like when I got over there, it was something like I think it was just right there. Like, yeah, I'm 21. I'm like, damn. And it's
Yeah.
the same thing with me. Like my friend Owen and I, like I've been on Owen's like 20, maybe 22 now.
Oh
But
wow.
my first interaction with him, I did a remix for him, and I was living in England at the time. And the guys from the label he was on said, "Hey, you want to do a remix?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool." They sung it, I did it, and then he hit me up one day. We ended up talking, and he's like, "Yeah, thanks for doing my remix, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, no problem." I know he was from the States, so that was cool. But then, like a year later, I find out he's posting something like, "Yeah, I'm 17 now." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "What the hell?"
I mean, I didn't know this
Wow.
either. I met Owen in Nashville, I want to say like 3-4 years ago, but I had no idea he was the same age as me.
Yeah, dude,
He never brought it up to me either. Like that's crazy.
it's nuts. So I mean, I had a party. He came up for my birthday party one time, and it was cool. He played, did a live PA and stuff, and I was like, "I would offer you something to drink, but I might go to jail."
Yeah. I've been
So
there.
it's kind of crazy. But I mean, like I said, it's dope that all your accomplishments at this young age. Do you do you do you find that kind of being like a hinder that you are so young? Like it kind of
Eh,
like,
it was for a while. Like, it's funny because a lot of times I had to like say no to opportunities because I had to go to school, and like a lot of clubs wouldn't book me because they're just like it's a risk having you inside the club. And so I feel like a lot of that did hinder the growth, but in a way I would also say it's a blessing in disguise because it just forced me to stay at home and just only focus on what I'm able to do, which was just make music. And in a way I feel like that's a blessing because a lot of people who do get success, like success for whatever lack of a better word you want to call it, early on, I feel like they don't really get to sit with and put in their like 10,000 hours into whatever they want to get really good at. And like
Mhm.
a lot of these other DJs that I've been starting to meet while I'm like here in Europe and stuff, their biggest complaint to me is always that like, oh, I never have time to write music anymore. I never have time to like go to the studio and stuff. And I don't know, maybe they're also like partying too much. I don't know if that's like another issue, but um yeah, I mean, I just feel like it was very much a blessing in disguise because the only way I felt like I could contribute to the scene and like be a voice for the next generation of artists in music was literally just through making music in whatever way, shape, or form that is. And I feel like that also really helped me not get too tied down to just like, I feel like at least these days, a lot of these like techno kids love boxing themselves into like, I make techno and this is what I do and this is what I'm about. And while it's really cool, I feel like there's so much more to art than boxing yourself into something like that. Like, and I feel like doing that allowed me to also explore like other like creative things I want to do. Like, I really like I wouldn't have found out how much I love making electro if I didn't like go through those like periods alone in Dallas where I would just like drive down the road and be like, well, I'm getting bored listening to techno. I want to like feel something a bit deeper and
Right.
emotional. And I know it like it opened me up to like the whole like vaporwave like online scene that like it's this like I don't know if y'all are familiar with vaporwave.
Never heard of it.
It's this very interesting internet phenomenon. It started with millennials like in like the early 2010s, but I feel like my generation has also kind of like prolonged it. And it's this like glorified nostalgia of the 80s, but pre-packaged in this digital internet like atmosphere. There's this really cool documentary someone made on YouTube about it. And basically it's like pre-packaged, like they take a lot of 80s loops and samples like disco and funk records and really famous pop songs from the time, and then they slow it down and warp it up and then like, you know, make their own renditions of how they perceive the 80s and how they perceive the past. And in a way it's the same themes of retrofuturism that Jeff Mills was doing back in the 80s, but kind of reversed. It's like a another version of the past that we're reimagining in the future rather than a version of the future that never happened, which is what classic retrofuturism could be. But I don't know, like I really got into vaporwave and stuff, and a lot of the synth pop I was already making at the time, I just turned into like my own vaporwave tracks and stuff. So yeah, anyway, sorry for the tangent, but I just feel like it really helped me like learn more about myself creatively and what I love artistically and what like fuels my artistic growth, because I would hate to be just like labeled as someone who just makes minimal techno my whole
Right.
life, because there's so much
Mhm.
more to art than that. And I feel like when you really get to sit with yourself and you're just alone and you're in solitude, that's when you can really create to the depths of what your soul is like really wanting to say. And it's not just going to be like this surface level idea of what you think you want to say artistically, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I've just learned something I've never learned because of you. I've
Yeah,
never even heard of that. You know what I mean?
I'll
So
send y'all that documentary. It's
yeah,
super cool,
I
and
got
it
out.
also is shows how like this whole like phenomenon of kids my age like glorifying the past in a way, because the 80s was not a good time. It was like an economic recession,
Mhm.
and like it was this like prepackaged consumerism that made everything look great on the outside, and you got McDonald's and all these like hyper corporations for the first time. But it was a very dark period, and it was like a cocaine fueled nightmare of a time period. But the way that my generation has seen it is also very interesting, and it shows how like the whole American political regime has played a role in that, and in this very, it's a very hopeful type of depression, if that kind of makes sense. Very very oxymoronic, but I
Yeah.
love things like that are very surreal and they don't make sense, and they challenge your mind. And like I'll definitely have to send y'all that interview. It's really cool.
Please do.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Definitely do that.
But yeah, I don't know. What would you guys say is has been your big artistic revelations as of late?
As of late,
At least on your personal journey, like with making music, and what's been resonating with you.
again, for me, I can't really speak because right now I just don't have time for nothing. It's
Yeah,
like
fair
work,
enough.
work, 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 work. That's all I think of. Work, work. I can like do my job in my sleep, and I'm like dreaming work.
Yeah.
So at, when I do have time to make music, I'm not really thinking. It's just I don't know. I should be
You're
thinking
just
because I think. Well, I'm trying to think. You know, do things a little differently. I will say that, but I
yeah,
mean, just how things are going. At least here in the States right now, it's just nuts, man.
I can
And
imagine. Yeah.
it's just kind of thinking like, you know, like what the hell's going on? Like, where are we going to be tomorrow? And it's like tomorrow. I won't even say tomorrow. What's going to happen in the next hour?
Yeah.
Because things are.
Everything's so uncertain.
It is. And so
Yeah.
everything I knew, at least like we're like at least 30 years older than you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
everything that was kind of like, oh yeah, we grew up, or like Roe versus Wade is going to be here, and you know, I'm not a slave no more. All this stuff. I mean, not to be that, but it's true, man. It's just that you never know.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, he can be like, oh yeah, well, guess what? You're not free anymore. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
and it sounds crazy, but that's just how it is.
It's
Man.
really not. Yeah.
You
If you
know,
look at history, I feel like the systems that are set in place never last more than 100 years at best. Every 100 years, there's always a reset if you always look historically. And we're kind of hitting that point, like since World War II. We're getting very close to that. It's been 100 years since the Great Depression. Like, and the systems do change, and then someone is left like to pick up the pieces. And I talk about this with my sister a lot because we've seen that, like, I feel like millennials were the generation that were promised the future that boomers got to reap the benefit of, but it never came. So they're the very confused generation. I feel like Gen Z is the first like culturally aware generation that understands that like what we were promised is not coming. It's never coming, and like it's time to change. We're gonna eventually have to be the generation that picks up the pieces and makes change. And radical change is the only way these systems actually change. So
yeah,
as crazy as it feels to talk about it, because we're not living that experience yet, I feel like it's really not that far into the future. And
I agree with you.
and you have to think pretty big in big terms for when those changes do happen, and be ready to make like very big life changes. Otherwise, you get kind of like kicked in the dust, like behind. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah. So is your sister older than you or younger?
She's older than me by 4 years, so she turned 25 this year.
Okay.
What's her name? Just curious.
Uttara. It means
Uttara.
north in Sanskrit, actually, which is, I think, is the coolest thing ever.
So which city do what city do your folks come from in India?
My mom grew up in this city called Chennai. It's like one of the bigger cities in the south.
Chennai. Okay.
Yeah, and my dad grew up in Bangalore, but we all have
Okay.
roots in Tamil Nadu, which is like one of the southernmost states.
So do you speak Hindi, or what do you?
Me, I don't speak anything other than English. Like I grew up
Okay.
in Texas, and my parents were like, "You're not gonna have any use for Tamil in Texas," so
Okay.
they never really bothered teaching me. But
I do gotta ask you though, about some food, but I'll save that to the end. I
heck
need to
yeah,
ask you like some stuff. I'm gonna ask you what you like, what you don't.
let's
you
do it. I
know.
mean, I could talk about food all day. So
So you do go back though. I have seen you going back to India.
yeah, we used to go like every 4 years to like visit family and stuff when I was a kid, and then throughout high school I didn't go for a while, but now since graduating I usually make it a point to go once a year at the end of the year. Also
Yeah.
because there's a very like new and like exciting scene that's growing there. So it's also nice to go and connect musically with people there and see what they're about, and also for me to just connect more to my culture, because I don't really get to experience much of it in Texas growing up outside of like my direct family and stuff. So yeah, I'm going there like next month for a couple weeks, and this year I'm going with my sister too, which I'm really excited for.
That's cool.
It'll be special
Okay.
to spend some time together.
So how's the scene there?
It's really cool. I mean, it's a lot more, I will say, because it's still like, it's not the Western world, so everything set in place there is usually funded by rich people or has some huge sponsorship behind it. So with that, it comes its drawbacks. Like you don't have as much of the DIY culture as you do in the States, where you just get a sound system and a generator and you go find somewhere to go throw a party. It's very much like, if you have to do things by the book, but there's also a level of corruption within the government that you have to overlook and like pay people off and like the right people just to make something happen every now and then. And then even still then, with like nightlife laws, things will shut at like 2-3 in the morning, kind of like the States. So despite all of that, there's still like some really cool collectives out there that are trying to make things happen. And slowly, like, festival culture is starting to get more into techno, so they're starting to book more like techno acts. And I think also, just as techno is getting more well known around the world,
Yep.
it's helping a lot. But I'm really optimistic about what's happening there, and I've made friends with quite a few people also my age who are just getting into it themselves, very similarly to how I did, like just online, like listening. Actually, we were listening to one of your tracks, Myles, the one you did on Alien Tape.
Oh,
I showed up to India, my friends were like listening to it like just on YouTube. So I mean, the fact that the music is traveling there and stuff and connecting with younger kids is really cool for me to see. And for me, that's like the first step to anything really blossoming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm really hopeful for what's happening out there.
yeah. Have you met Punja?
Pooja, yeah, she lives here.
Yeah. That's my homie, man. So
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
yeah. So I know she's doing her thing too, man. I've been noticed. Like I think I first met her. I don't think she's even DJing in, but she seen me at Tresor and through my
Nice.
old agent. So we got been friends since then. And just to see her rise and just to see, and I've noticed that like her, you, and it's a couple other. I see this, a lot of Indian artists doing their thing, man, and that's why I'm saying that it's pretty dope.
Definitely, yeah. And for me, it's very fulfilling to see too, because when I was getting into the music, like I used to type like Indian techno artists, and there would only be a few. Like I'd see like Arjun Vagale from India, if you know him. This other guy, Dot Dat, who has become a good friend now, I can gladly say, and as well as Emotic. And those three guys were like the only people I knew doing it. And to see like more Indians getting into it and stuff is also really cool to me, because I do feel like the eastern side of the world is very overlooked in the West. I mean, not for any bad reason. It's just it's so far away, and like it's hard to keep track of everything going on in the world. But I would just say Asia in general too is on such a rise right now, and it's cool to see like how this music that's come from America is being reinterpreted and recontextualized with more Eastern influences and stuff. And it's just I love seeing when ideas from all over the world get married and something new comes out of it, because it's exactly the ethos of why techno started and why it is what it is, which to me is the most fulfilling thing.
Yeah.
I was talking about that to someone over here the other day, this DJ Manella, too, because she's from India, but she
Yeah.
lives here in Warsaw with me. And I was saying, I feel like India is the place where I wanted to start touring or, getting over there more, especially with a live show.
Yeah,
So
you
I thought that
definitely
could be, because I said, for me, Europe is, what else can I do over here?
yeah.
I'm thinking other places now, other spots where people are, doing fresh new things. Asia, India, Mongolia, like just different places, period. But India was definitely, it was like the number one, the first place I thought of. Yeah, I'd like to start something over there.
Definitely, yeah.
Even finding some artists over there as well.
For sure, yeah.
So-
If you ever want to go there, let me know. I'll get you in touch with the right people there. There's
No, I do.
solid crews out there, yeah.
No, that's exactly. I want to go do a live. I want to take my live show, my live act over there.
Yeah, that'd be
Do
insane,
like a
yeah.
live set. So I can send you a link online to where I've already done it. I mean, it's still going to be refined a little bit more, but you have the meat and potatoes of a general idea of how it looks and sound. But
Please, I would love to
definitely, if
hear
you
it,
can
yeah.
put me in touch with some people, I'll
Let's
love
make
you
it happen,
forever,
yeah.
man.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I'll come
What's
over to
been your
Birdman and
experience? Yeah. What's been your experience with like the whole like playing in Europe thing? Because that's something I've been like thinking about lately since I started playing here.
dude, like, see, because as Myles was saying, because we're a lot older than you, I've been at this thing since the night. Like my first tour was like in Brussels and Germany, and that was way before you were even born. It was like 93
We're old.
or 94. I was young, but I was young like you then. That was
Right.
like really like early 20s when I first went,
Yeah.
because I did a release and they liked it, and a lot of that was through Dan Curtin too.
Oh,
He
legend.
helped
Yeah.
a lot with that. And then once I had the first tour, it just like never kind of stopped. It seemed like every 2 or 3 months someone was faxing me like, come back. And funny enough, back then a lot of times I didn't even feel like going and doing it because it was work.
Right.
Like sometimes I would come home Sunday and right away Thursday, you're already booked to go somewhere else. So it's like, man, going back to the airport, doing all that again. And
It's nonstop.
yeah. It was like, so sometimes I wasn't say I was taking it for granted, but just, okay, I got to cancel, guys. I just came back. I don't want to go. And I could have shot myself in the foot with that. And then a lot of times, a lot of people just didn't have a way to contact me. Because
Right.
I later on and down the road, oh yeah, we wanted to book you, but we didn't have a way of contacting you. And some people they did contact others, but some people didn't share the information. of how to get a hold of me. So, some of that stuff was
It's a whole
happening too. So,
communication, like logistics
yeah,
nightmare, I can imagine.
but I would have to say Poland. Poland has been good to me because when I got over here, there was a moment where only 2 years I played within this country because I was having like 8 gigs a month, and I was getting paid the same. And my lazy ass was, okay, why am I gonna go over there when I'm gonna get the same just going down the street?
Yeah.
For example. So for 2 years it was like that. And yeah, but some of the other earlier stuff before that, going over to Scotland, because sometimes I toured with not only Jay but Chance.
Yeah.
Never with Fanon, but Chance. Oh yeah, speaking. Yeah, I see. He just wrote. I was just thinking about that. He just wrote that.
Crazy.
I
Wait, are
wasn't
you guys
even
talking
looking.
about Jay Denham?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
That's his cousin.
No way.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, we had Jay
Yeah.
on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So we're part of the Kalamazoo, man. I'm one of the Kalamazoo history responsible for putting Kalamazoo on the map for techno.
Nice. So you also know Fanon Flowers?
Fanon, Chance. It was basically Jay, because he came back and got us all into it. Chance and Fanon I went to high school with. Then you had Damon Lamar, but Damon was more like he moved back to Chicago when he was 18, but he goes under the guy's Baby Pop. He did a lot of records. And there's Brett Dancer, who does like more of the house music stuff. And Tony Ali, but he just kind of did music with us. He didn't do as much as the rest of us did. And but the main benefactor was Tony Jackson. He was a DJ in Kalamazoo that was putting on a lot of events that Jeff Mills used to come and play on his parties. So he kind of like influenced Jay in a way, like as far as DJing and everything. So Kalamazoo has a pretty rich history. Yeah. And I do remember having a conversation with Mike Banks once, where back in the early days, I used to always go down to Submerge all the time and hang out. Yeah. And he said that it was about a couple, I think 4 years, maybe something like that, somewhere in the 90s going into the 2000s, where Kalamazoo had the road for techno. We just didn't even know it, because living in Kalamazoo, the day-to-day life for me was, okay, this making music thing was just part of what you did.
Yeah.
Like for example, as I said before, I might have Chance's drum machine for a couple of weeks. He might have mine. We all had jobs, or I was even going to school, but I never had jobs that were like really hard. I just kind of had these on-call type jobs. Just always wanted to have something just in case, but nothing really like serious. So we were kind of like this, but the music part was just part of what you did. So you always had like a room or some spot in your house where you had stuff connected, some keyboards or something. Usually we get together playing the PlayStation, a little bit talking and making tracks, but in your own house, you always had some gear around like you do now, and making music and putting it out. But the finer moments was to go to the record store and just see your record in there, because that was the goal. We weren't caring about gigs and all that other stuff, because the gigs were work.
Putting the music out,
just going down to Detroit or Chicago, and because you buying some records just so you can mix yourself, make some mixes, or go to the party. And okay, I got my record in there. I only got 200 copies in there because that's all I could afford to do, but it's in there. You know what I mean? So
it's a gratifying feeling,
that's really what it was. It was just wasn't as deep, but we didn't know that the rest of the world was like, until those faxes started coming in. And I said, wow, man, this thing is going off. People from Japan are faxing me 2, 3 in the morning. And what's going on? Like, I'm waking up, it's just rows of faxes, and half the time, I'm not going to I don't even know how to communicate with these guys. Yeah. So, probably some missed opportunities, but that was
the fact that you're even being heard is, to me, the coolest thing. And that's something I love about that era of music that I feel like is so like overlooked and underappreciated now, is that like a lot of kids my age will be like, the only reason they want to put out a record is to maybe get bookings or to get like validation or records and stuff. And it bothers me to my core, because I'm like, what happened to just putting out music because you love it and you want to, maybe see your record at a shop, like, or hold it in your hand or listen to it, because for me, that's the only reason I ever wanted to share music and put it out, is just like, I wonder if this resonates with anyone, and I
Right.
wonder like if there's anyone out there who's making similar music, and by putting it out there, you know, you find your tribe, you find the people that resonate with it. But now, like, a lot of kids will just put out a record because they just want to get a booking, and then they'll
Yep.
get disappointed that the bookings don't come because the intention
Yep.
isn't genuine. And then I'm
Yep.
like, do you not even see that you just
Yep.
put out this beautiful piece of art and you're just discarding it to the side because of the expectation to the outcome, rather than just like, I love what I do and putting out music.
It's exactly what you just said. You know, doing what you love. Because honestly, when people, how can I get bookings? Sit your ass down in a chair and do what you love, and you ain't even
Exactly.
got to think about it. It'll just come to you because you're doing what you love. You and here's the thing: the universe recognizes the
It
time you
listens.
put the time you put in. Because it's like, as Myles said, okay, right now he's busy, he don't have time, but when he has time, he makes use of the time and he gets it done. But
Exactly.
it's also watching you all the time, like, okay, you really about this, so I'm gonna bring you some gigs. Okay, I
Totally.
see
Yeah.
you not really, you know, you not ready for some gigs right now. You need to actually work on some music. So let's see if you're really about, because that's what the universe is doing sometimes too, is like not letting you have what you think you should have yet. Seeing,
Because
testing you still, because you haven't
totally.
passed
Yeah.
the test. How far you gonna go with this? How much do you really love this? How much do you really want it?
Yeah.
Because you know,
And you
you
definitely have to have that like trust in in God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Like that level of faith used to be very hard for me to explain this to my parents, because, you know,
right.
like, as supportive as my parents have been, you know, they are Indian and they want to like ensure that you make enough money to be secure in like what you do
Yep.
as you get older. And I never used to know how I could explain this to them when I was like younger, but I was like, I just like knew deep down like in my heart that like if I just sit here and like stick to what I do, I just somehow know it kind of, it has to work out. Like I have no choice. Not even me, but like, yeah, the universe totally grants you like what you want when you're ready for it, if you're willing to put in the work
True.
required to do
I'll
it.
give you a trick. I'll give you a trick, guys, because I just saw what Chris Allen wrote about.
Here's
And
Chris.
he said now you need to have, okay, Chris, if you believe that you need to have these 100K, that's exactly the experience you're gonna have. But it's like you gotta not trick your mind, but trick your mind. Say, okay, it doesn't matter what is going on. When I'm
Yeah.
ready to have these bookings, I'm gonna have these bookings. That's it. That's, you know, no going back, none of that. It's just they're gonna come, you know, just do your music. Don't think about it. But I know it seems like that, because it does seem like that you gotta have all these Instagram followers and all that. You know, I still get booking offers. Sometimes I just don't take them, but I still get offers. And I don't have even close to that. But I can tell you, the people that have those low numbers, that's real. But some of them people that have those blown out numbers, some of them are cheating. So
Yeah.
we can be honest. Like, with
Yeah.
you see those people with 3,000 or 2,000, these people are doing it the fair way, the correct way.
Yeah.
You know, actually just
And
letting it build up organically.
yeah. And I can
So
confidently say that like there's a huge difference between getting a booking and then getting a good quality booking. Cause yeah, maybe these 100K followers are getting like a million bookings, but the quality of them is horrible. You see what they're playing to crowds that are just recording them, and like there's no musical connection. You don't really
phone
resonate
up.
with the audience. And yeah, and I'm like, cool, you have gigs, you got money, like you're playing the game, but honestly, they're just playing a fashion industry that's disguised as music, and there's just music playing, but this is just like a fashion show where
All
you're
they gonna
just up
do
there
is get all
dancing.
they gonna do is get used up by the negative energy of it. Because that's
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
thing. It'll let you get those gigs for a while. You'll be running a race like a rabbit. But I think it's better to have the turtle race where, okay, you, like you just said, I'm
Slow and
doing it
steady.
for
Yeah.
love, slow and steady, and I'm doing it healthy. So this same energy is not going to destroy me either,
Yeah.
because I have all those. What usually happens? They start doing drugs. This starts happening. They start going
Yeah.
mental problems. They don't take care of their health, because only when you on a road like that, for sure you're not eating properly or sleeping
Definitely.
properly.
Yeah.
You know, so now you're becoming mentally ill as well. So
And that eats
it's
away at your like core
right.
identity and what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at least for Chris,
Yep.
like to Chris's comment, I can say that like even though like followers and stuff like unfortunately matters when you're playing the business, like, and to some
Mhm.
degree, I can say the legacy that you leave behind will never be defined by a follower count. And
Nope.
you're already doing this with your label, Chris, because like everyone I talk to in the sci-fi space, like they all know what you're doing, and everyone has like always talks about like your contributions to Pole Group and on Kessel's label, even like 10, 15 years ago, not to mention that you're starting something new here. And to me, that to the maybe like 100 to 200 people in this very specific niche that moves and that does something for them goes way further than like playing those shows that like maybe these 300,000-400,000 follower people are having, because no one there even knows like what techno is. They're just there because they were told to be there by their phones, you know.
Exactly.
How are you finding the industry right now? I mean,
I love it and I hate it. I mean, I love that because like you said, like there's this negative energy around this huge like influencer industry space, but I think the music industry of people like us who just care about music, I think they like run in parallel with each other. So it's like I kind of treat it like a game at this point. I'm like, if you exactly do what you love, then you can run in parallel with a lot of these industry people who are maybe not here for the right reasons, but you can find out that like there is a way to navigate this industry without having to change your values or who you are, what you believe in. And I feel like to me, like that's what like true success is not having to give up your morals and your values and being able to do what you like. And I think about someone like Deadmau5, who a lot of people would call him a commercial sellout, but I honestly disagree because he has never once done something he doesn't want to do. It's just that a lot of his values happen to align with what is commercially viable, which cool, great for him that he made it work. But
Exactly as you said. Now you doing nothing I don't want to do. No Diddy.
Yeah,
no Diddy.
Exactly.
he ain't coming over here with no Vaseline, boy.
Oh boy,
yeah. When it gets to that side of the industry,
it's really like Star Wars, isn't it? You can be Luke Skywalker, or you can like Anakin Skywalker. How you change it to Lord Vader? You can do that.
Yeah.
You know, you can join the club and do that, but
you can change teams.
I prefer to just stay.
I had to stop that. Hold up, he's got some good stuff. Where'd he go?
Venture capital I mean, that's very true. I mean, when things are ruled by money, you lose the creative control. That's so true, because every club that has been something cool, whenever it gets bought out by investors, then they want it to be their idea of a club or like what would be fun, and then it loses its whole like core value. And I've been like floating this idea around with my sister, like maybe like 10-15 years down the line, like it would be so cool to like reopen a club in Dallas, because y'all have heard of like Stark Club and stuff, right? Like back in the 80s, like Dallas really was a capital for dance music. And I don't know how true this is, but some of the older guys in Dallas have told me that Juan Atkins' Metroplex label is named after the DFW Metroplex, because so many record shops were buying his records at the time. I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on that, but like from what I've heard is that Dallas has had a very rich electronic history. It's just not talked about because we're so isolated.
No, it has. Metroplex was telling he was putting me up on game on that too.
Yeah,
telling me that, you know,
so many electro legends, Convection, Cygnus. We have Wans Dover, Blixaboy. Like all these guys have been doing it and like holding it down there for so long. So I think it would be really cool to like pay homage to that. And like it's also where I'm from, and I'm still very proud to be from there. And I've thought about it, and it would be like a cool idea to like maybe open a club there in the future. And I think about it the way, like, let's say somewhere like Berghain is so centrally located in Europe that people come from all over Europe to go and experience it for what it is. And it's kind of the same for Dallas. It's like, it's a 3-hour flight anywhere from the States to Dallas. And it's so central. And it's one of the fastest growing cities in the world. And we're finally getting a younger population, which I feel like was the problem why there wasn't such a strong scene there for a while. Because it was more like, for the longest time, a city, you raise your family, and then as soon as your kids turn 18, they leave to college. And so it's all like super young kids and then their parents. So there's no like actual age demographic for people to actually go out and clubbing. But now that that's changing, I feel like in the next 10-15 years it would be like a hot spot to open up a club. And with the rise of electronic music again, the way the political scene is going, it's a recipe for good music in my opinion. And
there you go.
But I do agree with Chris, what he says, that venture capital would absolutely destroy a club, because I was talking about this with some friends and we were like, even if we did have investors, which it would be much better if we didn't and we're able to just fund it by ourselves through savings or whatever, if we did have investors, the deal would have to be like they have no control over what we do creatively, because then you get investors and they're like, oh, like we need a bar and it needs to make this much money, and
Yep.
we need to book these people so that it makes this much money, and then bam,
Yep.
your complete creative
it.
integrity is like gone.
It's done. It's
Yeah.
done. And and like you said, why do that? Just to have it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, anything to get because then it's not gonna be what you want.
Exactly.
You know, exactly. At first they will say that. Yeah, no. So then later, oh, actually we're having a board meeting. Like, I wasn't informed.
Yeah.
And now you're there and they're telling you, exactly some new person coming in and changing everything, so it's if you can find somebody to privately fund or just wanting to give money toward, or maybe, as you said, do some of those GoFundMe's or something and see how much you could collect that way. And worst case scenario, or here's another idea, just get 10 of your good friends that has jobs and tell everybody, hey, what would you be willing? What could you give up every month? $250 every month, and we pay this one person to run it and do everything for us and get it going.
Yeah.
And then we're all together and we agree that this is what it's going to be. That's another way.
Yeah, it's more like grassroots that way, and like rooted in community rather than just like some big boss with all the money just calling all the shots, which never leads to much going on long term, at least.
Chris is right. Mad events are structured around alcohol sales where kids aren't drinking.
Yeah, I've read like Gen Z has like one of the lowest like alcohol consumption rates lately, and I think that ties back to like the Gen Z cultural awareness. Like a lot of my like older friends will also be like, man, like you guys don't party like we used to like back in the day, and I'm like, yeah, that's because we don't know if like the world's gonna end tomorrow. Like we want to make sure we have like a house and like a safety net, but
party like it's 1999, what Prince said.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey man, which one of y'all got kids, man? Somebody here calling somebody daddy.
That's Tony, my coworker.
Oh, okay. I was like, we're calling somebody daddy, man. No Diddy. No Diddy.
I'm too young to have kids.
You know that's what he said to who's that rapper he said that to? He called him daddy. Remember?
Probably everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of daddy, what do your parents think about what are you doing?
I mean, my mom's always been, both of my parents have always been like super supportive of music. Like my sister's also been playing piano since she was 4. Like music has run very deep in our family, and both my parents are very musical. They just don't know it because it was never like cultivated in them at a young age. But my dad has an amazing voice. My mom has amazing taste in music. Like that's where I get all my music taste from. My dad's very good at percussion as well. Like he'll just be like, we'll be in the car and he's just like drumming with his fingers. And
nice.
They both are very musical. It's just, I don't think because they grew up in India, maybe life circumstances, they just wasn't like instilled in them as much. But I feel like my sister and I are maybe carrying the torch for them. And we've always had it around. Making it into a career was a bit of a more questionable thing, and they had their doubts during high school, and it took a lot of me like trying to just like really like I had to be a bit of a rebel against my own wish to like be like, no, like I'd have to make this happen. But again, like I feel like, when you do something and you stick to what you love, the universe will hear you and try to help you as you can. Because literally a few months before my high school graduation is when Richie came over and we made music, and he came home, we cooked him Indian food, and he met my parents, and he kind of like also encouraged them and told them like, hey, like just let him do his thing. Like he has my support.
You beat me to my question. That was my next question.
Yeah. And so I think for them, hearing it from him and seeing where he's at in the scene and how he's has been able to make a career and like a stable like life for himself out of it, they kind of like were a bit more calm and were like, okay, let's at least let him try for a while. And that would kind of really like hit the nail on the head for them. So I was super blessed and felt very grateful for that experience. But
all right. So what's the backup plan? You got a backup plan?
Yeah, a few options. I love road trips. I mean, we've been going on road trips across the states since I was really young, and I'm also grateful my parents instilled that in me too. I love the US like interstate system. Like I would not mind at all becoming a truck driver at any point. Because also it takes 6 weeks to get your truck driver certification, like your license, like the CDL, I think it's called. Like I've done all the research on this, and you just get to drive across the country and listen to music all day, and then you get to go camping like in your truck. Like that's super cool. Like,
Don't
I
these
don't know.
cats always do the same thing? My cat does that too.
My cat
Yeah.
here somewhere.
So she cannot get in this room. Actually, she's been scratching on the door, trying to get in here, but she would have been doing the same thing, walking in front of or actually knocking things over.
He's over.
Yeah, I hate that. Or
I can't wait
eating
for
my
that one.
plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little menaces.
Dude, you know, they're so ridiculous. They're so sinister smart because they just be knowing, you know, like the way
They know exactly what they're
They
doing.
know exactly what mine is waking me up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like it's payback, you know. She
Oh
starts
yeah.
flying around like Peter Pan, and I
Yep.
can't do nothing. I'm just laying there tired. So
Probably
Yeah.
having 4.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of cats.
well,
Yeah. But they're the best. Like I couldn't live without one.
Yeah.
yeah, they do. They have the, you know, they do take the stress away. They say if they lay
Definitely.
in your lap and you pet them, then you know they're purring, so your stress
Takes
is
away
going
stress.
away.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll
would-
get back from like I'll go out with some friends, and then I'm back from a gig and super tired. I'll wake up and she's just like right here at my chest, and like I feel healed in a lot of ways. Like
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's the payback, you know, for them to, you know, heal us and take the stress away. They have to do we have to do the other things like clean the litter box and
exactly.
buy them
It's
food and be waking up with the zoomies at 2 in the morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. So, what is there something that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
Do
As far
you
as
mean like
career
musically?
wise, musically,
Yeah.
like somebody working with somebody doing a certain event.
Let's see. That's a great question.
Mike Banks, maybe.
That would be nuts if ever getting that opportunity.
that out
But
I mean, he's already done the Jeff Mills thing, and you know,
yeah, I had asked Jeff once. I was like, "Do you want to make music together?" And while he seemed appreciative that I asked, he told me like
nah.
that he prefers solitude. Like he hasn't made music with anyone ever, like in a very long time. And he was just like, solitude allows me to write my best, most authentic material, which I kind of understood. But writing stuff with him would be cool. With Jeff, doing something with Convection, Gerard from the States would be cool. But we recently met up when I was back there in Texas last month. So hopefully that happens soon. And we might be working on some music together, do an electro record. I would really love to put out like a full electro EP, like really tell a story with it, like pay homage to like the Drexia era electro stuff, because that just holds such a special place in my heart. And I feel like it marries like everything I love about music all in like one genre, because it's got the techno attitude, but it has this very 80s like nostalgic flair to it, and it's also futuristic, and it's just everything I love about music. And it can be melodic, but it can also just be banging, like super
Mhm.
funky. Like it's just literally everything. And I don't know, just doing like a crazy, like very big, like electro project at some point on a really good electro label would be really cool. So that's something I would definitely look forward to, hopefully.
Okay, I got one more question. Maybe Donna has one, and then like, I know you just got in. I know you're tired as hell, so we're not gonna keep you too long. But and I just lost my question. Like, tell me about the labels. You and your partner back in, is he still in Texas or he moved with you?
Who, Jay? He's living in New York. He
Oh,
never
he's in
lived
New York.
Texas.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought he was in Texas. Tell me about the labels and then your relationship with Jay.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll start with Kodak because I started that label during COVID. And it's more of like a digital label where I just wanted a platform where I'm like, when I want to just work on projects with friends and like just put out music that I think is really worth hearing, I just was like, I need to have a platform for that, a space for that, send it off to all the right DJs that I think would actually appreciate the music, rather than just be another label that just shoots promos out into the dark. And it gets heard by some cool DJs, maybe played at some clubs, but it doesn't like do its job as a label of being like a cultural inebriator of good new music from people with very fresh, like innovative ideas and sounds. And that's kind of like what my idea behind Kodak was. And there's not really a specific genre or style I adhere to. It's more about does it capture the essence of what techno is to me, which is experimental, being experimental or being authentic to who you are, even if that means breaking conventional rules of what electronic music has been perceived to be. So that's kind of like what Codec is, and we still are putting out releases there a lot of times just from really good friends of mine who I'm very lucky that a lot of my good friends are also just people who make amazing music, which has been kind of the ethos of that label. And then with Toka, it's a vinyl imprint that I started with Jay because we both were kind of just like fed up of waiting around for labels to just accept our demos, because we were like, if something means a lot to us, why should we wait for someone else's approval? Especially if we want it on vinyl and we want that investment and that commitment. We were like, we can just do it ourselves. And Toka is more of like a novelty label. We don't release there as often, but when we do, it's because we really want to say something musically. Like Jay just put out his first solo EP there, and it's all like much deeper stuff. And you can always, what I love about Jay's music is you can always hear his sound in it, but he's never afraid to like challenge himself artistically. He'll make something new, and then the key for his art is like, how can you hear him in whatever he makes, regardless of what it is? And
Gotcha.
yeah, so his new EP is really good, and I'll have to bring you a copy next time I ever meet you in person. But
Yeah, definitely.
very deep, very good stuff. And then my first solo Toka EP is going to come out next year, and it's all melodic stuff, other than the first track, which is a bit more of my classical, like techno loopy, whatever you want to call it. Right. But yeah, but then the rest, like there's an electro track on there, and then there's two of these more like melodic, almost trance inspired, but like still has that techno, like sci-fi attitude in some ways. So that's going to come out next year. But Toka, we do eventually want to get some friends on there at some point, but it's really when like we just want it to be a novelty label where if there's something different from what we normally do artistically that other labels don't really seem interested in, we know we have the platform and the space to be able to share that. And yeah, but Jay, the way we met, like a little backstory for that, I guess, is during COVID, like he didn't have many pictures of himself online, and Jay is also a very Indian name, and I saw he was living in Miami at the time, had this very like traditional Indian type of mustache in his profile picture, and I just freaked out. I was like, whoa, another Indian from America making like very similar music to what I'm doing. So like I just started messaging him. I was basically fangirling like like maybe 14 or 15. I was like, oh, I love your music, I love your music. And like he wasn't super responsive or anything, but we started chatting after a while, and then he did an EP for me on Codec. And finally, like right after the lockdown and stuff, we met up a couple times. I tried throwing one Codec like label party in Dallas. There was like 10 people there, but the promoter gave me a budget to fly him and our other friend Manny from Miami out for that party. And so like we made no money on it, but I just got to hang out with them. And like this was one of those instances where through the music I like made one of my best friends. And like we just realized like he also has a very similar upbringing to me, like very suburban, like in the middle of nowhere, just writing music on your computer all day. So we just got along really well. And then after COVID, after I graduated high school, we did our first trip to Berlin together and like kind of experienced the whole thing. And he's just been a super solid dude, and artistically and on a more personal level, we've always just kind of resonated. So I was like, why would I not want to start a label with him? Like,
Yeah,
it just felt like the right thing to do.
that's cool, man. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. What you got? You got another question?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have a couple little questions I gotta ask you. You can just say yes or no. You don't even have to go into detail.
I'm loving this. I love a good yap session.
First one, samosa chat.
Samosa chat, yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Okay. More samosa part, more bready, or more loose?
More samosa for sure. I love the crispy parts of the samosa, like when you get them like nice and deep fried. Anything deep fried, I'm a sucker for.
Gulab jamun.
Yeah, with ice cream. You got to do hot gulab jamun and then with ice cream and then a bunch of like whipped cream.
Time out. What is that? I don't know.
It's like think of like a donut hole, but it's like deep fried and it's covered in this very like syrupy, like almost like maple syrup, but it's just like it's really good.
Okay.
Okay.
You can buy them in like cans at the Indian grocery stores.
True. You can.
Okay.
They have them there too. They're good. But you prefer them warm or cold?
If you're gonna eat them warm, you gotta have it with ice cream.
Yeah, of course. But if you eat it cold, straight out the can,
Equally
or it
tastes
doesn't
great.
matter.
Equally tastes great. Yeah.
Right.
Made
Okay.
what is that? Somebody just commented.
With
Made with
chana. Yeah,
chana.
yeah. With it's
Yeah.
like lentils. Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, so it's like fried lentils and you put the stuff on it?
Well, gulab jamun. I don't know if it's lentils or it's rice
No,
flour. I
some
thought it's
other,
rice flour.
it's kind of like rice flour, kind of
Yeah, I think.
breading.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple more. Paneer makhni.
It's not my favorite, but paneer for me, I'm very like particular about how it's cooked. But dal makhni is really good. Like anything,
Yeah.
like any type of gravy, like it's great. You can't go wrong.
Okay. Mango lassi.
Yeah, all the time. It's like
Okay, cool.
anytime you go to an Indian restaurant, yeah, you gotta order it.
Okay, so just two more. Biryani.
No, I can't do it. I
No.
don't like it. It's too dry for
Okay.
me. Like,
Now, what
I
is
just
that?
like it's basically just like rice. It's basically fried rice, but with more. Think of like Asian fried rice, but it's with Indian spices, and it's a bit drier. Like it's not as oily or greasy.
Okay.
And they'll put like bay leaves in there as well, and drumsticks and cinnamon, like the full cinnamon clove.
Oh wow.
And they'll just leave it in there. So if you accidentally bite into it, then you get stuck in your teeth and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
not my favorite.
so butter chicken with butter naan, or fish curry with butter naan.
I couldn't tell you. I'm vegetarian.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, because I mean fish. I don't eat meat either, just fish and eggs. You know,
Nice.
so I don't consider fish really, meat, but I don't even really eat that much fish, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I try to go full on vegetarian, but I just, unfortunately, the body
If you need
needed
protein,
something.
you need protein.
Yeah, you need protein. So that was the only thing with that. But yeah, so I thought I asked because I had a girlfriend, like my first real girlfriend in high school. She was from India.
Oh, really?
And yeah, she introduced me to all them food. And actually, that's why the label Song of Mine came like into the spiritual way, because I was doing things I shouldn't be doing, in high school growing up. And she was more on the spiritual side. And, she said, you don't need to do these things. And so I took Sonic Mind to that whole spiritual realm because of her. So that's how I,
awesome.
learned about all this food, because she was always, they would have their parties. And then when we would meet, she would bring me some to try and taste. And then later, of course, I had friends that had their own restaurants. So then I knew. And then fast forward to tape over here, I got like 3 Indian restaurants really close to me. And I know each owner, like they're all my friends. So sometimes I'm jumping. Sometimes I'm sneakily going to one, and I'm hoping that, I hope you don't come over here and see, because I ain't been to his in a while, and I'm over here.
Yeah. Wait, but you said you're in Poland, right?
Yeah, I'm in Warsaw. Mm-hmm.
How's the Indian food there?
It's great because my friend Arun, see, he makes the best samosa chat I've ever had, because he makes it his way. And I'm like, it's just perfectly spiced, crispy, everything. It's just right.
Yeah.
But other places, each one of them are very good, but they just got their own little thing that they do.
Yeah.
And then my friend Pranav, he's a DJ over here too. He was also playing techno for a little bit, but he just has a restaurant. He makes his kind of different too. So it's a lot of Indians here in Warsaw.
That's cool.
It's a ton of them.
Yeah, I had a gig in not Warsaw, but what's the other one? Wrocław, I think.
Oh, Wrocław, Chawa, probably Chawa
At
Club.
Chalo, yeah, exactly. And they asked me like, where do you want to go? And I was like, let's go get Indian food. I went there, and the entire like kitchen was like Polish people. Like no one there was Indian, and also everyone eating food was Polish. I was the only Indian person in there, and so when I ordered food, like all the chefs came out and they were like watching me eat the food, like to see like, is it good?
Yeah,
and it was like very funny, but it was surprisingly really good, because apparently the owner like went on like a trip to India for like 5-10
a lot
years
of them
and, like,
do
studied the cuisine and then came back and
a lot of them do. It just up here in Warsaw, it's like most of them are Indians that own the the restaurants.
Cool.
And like you just said, there's a ton of Indian groceries here, so I'm able to get my okra. Like I go there because things are cheaper. To be honest with you, like onions and fruits and vegetables,
you get
go to the Indian store, and it's fresh.
Yeah,
and then of course I get my little snacks and the coconut oil and all that stuff there too. So It's
Dang, you know
and
your
it,
stuff.
dude, look, the same. Here's the other crazy part. When I go home to Kalamazoo, we also got a little store like that. It's called the World of
Yeah,
Spices. They
nice.
got it's the same stuff that I get over here. They have there. So it's
Yeah,
like I don't lose. And then I just recently found one in Berlin last time I was there playing horror around
it,
just miles right around the corner from Tim's place over there
it's
by
not
Ostkreuz.
Zora, is it? Is it
I don't
Zora?
remember it's close to Ostkreuz station.
Okay,
Very
it
close
could
to
be
there.
Zora. Yeah,
But it's but I went in there, I was like, man, they got everything I get in Warsaw. So I'm when I come next time I come and stay at Tim's,
You there?
I'm going
yeah,
over there. Like, cause
yeah.
you
Next
know,
time you come over, yeah, come home and we'll cook you some Indian
well,
food.
I'm coming there the 22nd and gonna come back here the 24th. So it's like a Saturday. I'm just coming in for like 2 days.
Dang, you should
So
extend your stay because I only get back from traveling on the 24th or 5th, something like that. But then I'm here after that.
you'll be away when I'm coming then.
Yeah, I'm leaving for the
Ah,
Philippines in like 3 days, and
Oh,
then I'm gonna do
okay.
Japan for a week, then South Korea, and then I only get back next week. So
Maybe another time when because my
easy,
plan is
yeah.
to start coming down there like once every two months, like just to
Yeah, you
kind of
should.
go socialize a bit and be in the record store because it's really
Definitely,
not
yeah.
now. It's not too expensive, and I have more time. Like unfortunately, when Miles came last time, I just had too much going on.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because my wife has a store here, and I help her
Right.
sometimes, and just it's just like stuff just be happening. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure we'll link up down there.
Yeah, I
I'm
would
sure
love
we'll
that.
go
That'd be
have
amazing.
some Indian.
Yeah. I gotta take you to this place in the West, both of y'all whenever you're here next. It's called Saravana Bhavan. It's like it's a chain restaurant, so they have it all over the world. Because most of like the food you talk to me about is North Indian food, which it's amazing, don't get me wrong, like it's curries and stuff, but for me just something about South Indian food just like really hits
Yeah,
different.
no.
Like and they make really good dosas. So I don't know if you guys know what dosa
Oh
is.
yeah, no, I eat dosa.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Miles. It's like this basically like you mix lentils and rice, and then you soak it, and you soak it overnight, let it ferment, then you grind it, and you turn it into this batter, and then you like make it into like these pancakes type of
oh,
shape things,
nice.
but they're savory, and then you dip them in like different like things like tomato chutney or like mint chutney. Like you eat it with that. You can
Okay.
put stuff inside as well. You can stuff it with potatoes or cheese or whatever. It's like for me, it's the best. And the fact that this is a chain, but the original location of this restaurant was literally 5 minutes away from where my mom grew up.
Oh,
And now
wow.
it's all over the world,
That's dope,
which is
man.
kind of crazy to me. So it's like it almost in a way feels like a piece of home, like all over the world,
That's
which is really
dope
cool. Next time y'all are in town,
for
I'll
sure.
have to
Oh
take you
yeah,
guys.
for sure,
Yeah.
man.
I'm
For
trying to get
sure.
back that way. I'm trying to plan this little tour for next year right now. Hopefully for April.
Okay, nice.
Oh,
That's
that's
like around my birthday too, so
yeah,
I'll be around. Yeah.
yeah. So it's somebody else's birthday too, but that's what I'm trying to do like in April. We'll see what happens. Put some feelers out. We'll see what happens. When are you coming? You coming back home anytime soon? You back to Texas?
I'll be back to the States in January. So I'm coming back for I'll come to Texas first, see my family, and then I have a show in Austin maybe. And then with Jay, we're playing a show together in New York the week after. But I'll definitely be around for a bit, like maybe 2, 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can try to find some kind of way to hook up then too.
Definitely.
That'd be
But
dope.
Because
oh yeah,
remind me, I always get confused, Miles. Are you in Detroit or are you in Flint?
I'm in Flint,
You're in
but
Flint, okay.
Detroit from it's like an hour away
By car, by
by
driving.
car, so it's nothing.
Okay, nice. Because I'm definitely going to be back for movement, so I definitely want to make it a point to see you this year,
Okay, for sure, for sure.
one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like since I actually so we've never met. We've talked. This is the first time like a official kind of virtual meeting. But
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for contributing that track to that compilation I did.
I mean, the honor's all mine, dude. I mean,
It was
appreciate the
dope.
invite.
That's like every time I play, I try to play it out when I'm out, like closing down a set or something, and people are like, "What the hell is that?" Da, 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 da. It's like amazing. It's amazing. So I want to personally thank you.
That means a lot to hear, man.
for doing
I
that.
appreciate it.
I love that track to death. So
Yeah, I mean, and the feeling's so mutual, dude. I'm such a huge fan of everything you put out, and like you have such a good understanding of what minimalism is when it comes to music,
Yeah,
because it's not just like bleep bloop like nonsense. It's like I like to call your music proper machine funk. Like you have an understanding of what a machine does and why it's funky, and
Oh, wow.
it's so simplistic, but can never stop dancing every time I hear
Wow.
your music, man.
If you guys
It's so
can't see
good.
this right now, I am turning red.
There's one track of yours in particular, you know, Reflective Subjects. It's like kind of electro-y, but
Oh, yeah.
that I play it in almost every set, and it always gets the dance floor moving because
Oh, wow.
there's the understanding. You have this understanding that it's not always about just the kick pummeling your face on a dance floor. Like it's so in the background. It's so deep, and it has this like undertone of jazz, because you know jazz, like the kick, you don't always hear it all the time. Like the bass
Right.
line's on top of it, the cymbals, or like the high end is like what kind of can drive the groove sometimes, and the kick is just there to like let you know that like
It's something.
that's what keeps it going. And I don't know, like people hear it, and I just see the way they move already changes, because like
Yep.
at least in Europe and a lot of these like bigger clubs, everything is so kick centric now. And like even if you look at what Robert Hood is putting out these days, like yeah, it's good, but there's so much emphasis on like this is the kick and it's in your face, and if you don't hear it, and it's like I don't want to come dance to a metronome for 8 hours. Like that's not why I'm at the
Right.
club.
Right.
And when I hear music like that, it's so hard to come across these days. Like maybe I don't know if you know these guys, Translate and Pulso from Argentina. They have a very good understanding of that too, and they do very good like minimalistic sci-fi music as well. But there's this like understanding that like it's not always about just blasting a kick drum in your face, and like there's so much more to rhythm and groove that you can
Right.
do and you can play around in.
It's about the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And people, and you see the way people dance when you play that kind of music, and it just completely changes the whole atmosphere. And yeah, that track has done a lot for me
Damn.
on the road.
That's a good point. What's up, Bert? Damn. I can't like stop grinning all happy and shit now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, with that said, give it up, sir. Mr. Decoder.
I mean, thanks to you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Before we go, what you got coming up? I know you're leaving in a couple of days.
Ooh, yes.
What-
We just did the Berghain announcement. I'm playing there in December, which has been a big goal. I'm super
Okay.
excited for. Then music wise, I'm putting out a triple album, like what is it called? A 3x12 inch album at the end of the year on Exos's label, Planet X.
Okay.
That'll either be out like end of December, early January. We just put the order in last week, and
Nice.
this one's really special. It's been like 3 years in the making. A lot of back and forth between me and him, and like there's your classic like techno tracks on there, but there's some deeper jazz inspired stuff as well some more melodic video game type of inspirational things. So I feel like it's a nice like kind of diary of like the past like 4 or 5 years of my like music production journey and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm really excited for that to come out, and I feel like that's going to be a nice little statement piece for the start of next year. And then I have my first solo EP on Toka at some point next year, whenever we fit it out into the release schedule. And then I'm working on some stuff for DJ Hyperactive's label. We've been chatting about some music. Also with Dustin's on for his label Enemy. Maybe
Oh,
we'll
Dustin.
plan something for next year. Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, and then let's see what else. And then yeah, with Dave Miller, he's also starting. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but he's starting a new label next year,
Okay.
and it's going to be for more artistic, like because he already has like Dynamic Reflection,
Yeah.
and his other label Groove Disorder, which I think are more like proper techno focused. But we've been talking, and I've been sending him a lot of my electro stuff lately. So I think we're gonna do an album like latter half of the year. And then I met this guy in Paris last month named Tio. Super nice dude, and he's affiliated with that club Assam that I just played at. And we started chatting, and he runs this label called Partout. I don't know if you're familiar. Partout. You also check it out. It's insane. Like he has insanely good taste and a lot of that Italo electro kind of influence, but everything he puts out on that label is gold, and it's a super low key label. It's vinyl only. Like he doesn't really distribute it to any of the digital platforms. The only place you can listen is Bandcamp or SoundCloud, and it's just the previews. Otherwise, you have to buy the record, which I love that ethos. But
Oh, yeah.
I've been sending a lot of music to him back and forth, so maybe we would plan something next year as well, which I would be really excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the little things going on in the background here. But
That's dope, man. I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
this stuff for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to send y'all some new stuff as well if you
All
guys
right.
would like to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, man.
Do that.
For sure.
Yeah, and same here. If y'all have anything new, I would
I'll
love
send you
to.
Oh,
on
definitely.
something. I did me and Jamie Bismer did something together. It's like a split EP. So I'll send you that. I'm in the works to get that
Sick.
out.
Yeah. He's a legend too.
Yeah, yes, I love that
Really
dude too, man.
Crazy guy.
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna hit you in the inbox on Instagram for your email so I can send you a bunch of promos and
Yeah, I would love
you
to
know
hear.
whatnot.
For sure, for sure. Let's give it up again, y'all.
Let's do it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
hanging out. Go get some sleep.
Yeah, definitely will.
He's jet lagged.
Before that, I'm definitely gonna get some food. You guys
And get
made
some
me hungry.
food. Yeah, for sure.
Made you hungry, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Me too, actually, but it's too late to eat now, so I gotta do it. But
Sleep it off till tomorrow.
Right.
I wouldn't have to eat, but I got some tricks. If I don't go walking, I got some tricks where I do kind of like some stand up, sit down squats for like 3 minutes, and then it's the
Nice.
food just, you know, because now it's all
Tap into the
dark
fat
over here.
reserves.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go walking now. It's too late. It's just too dark.
Yeah.
Cold. So
All right.
No, definitely.
All right, sir. I'll get back to you. You in a couple of days. Well, when you get back, I'll definitely get back with you.
Heck yeah.
All right. So watch the email.
Sounds good. I'm looking
All
forward
right.
to it.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks
guys.
again,
Chat
man.
soon.
thanks.
Let's give it off again one more time. Yes. Good interview, man. Good interview.
Yeah, I like his energy.
Yeah, dude.
He's real. You know, because if he was faking, he's a good actor. And if he was,
Oh yeah.
I don't think he was though.
No, he's
you
not.
know, and to be that young and have that knowledge in his head,
Yeah.
you know, his understanding of how things actually work. You know, like he's saying, the prior generation and what the new generation has to do. Because I was thinking that it's the same thing too. So to hear him say it, I said, okay, yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
It's the truth, man. That's what it is. We need that new energy.
Mm-hmm.
New energy. Glad to know him. So if y'all don't know him, yeah, I think he's doing it thing too. If you don't know him, go check him out. All this info and the links of the show. Nice guy, super dope artist, and he's gonna go very far.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can-
He's already done. Come on, look what he's already done worked with. And
Dude, like, you know what I'm saying? That's dope, man. That's dope.
I'll be honored to have him do something on Sonic Mind. He can do a whole EP. For me, go ahead, man. 4 tracks, 5, whatever what you want to do. 2 records.
A busy year next year for sure.
Yeah,
That's for
but you
sure.
know what he just talking to him. I was thinking the same thing. Just make music.
Mhm.
Just keep making it. You know, like every day. Like Pharrell said, just every day show up. Do even if it's just 15 minutes. Do something. Record it. If you don't like it, you got to release everything. But get in that act of doing things. Like when we were talking earlier, how I told him that we always have gear around.
Mhm.
That's just part of what we do. You know, I mean, I do every day. I do turn the stuff on and do something unless I'm sick.
Yeah.
Or just don't feel, or like you, just I had a horrible, just busy day, and I just couldn't even turn the stuff on. But that's why, thanks to Mr. Damon Wild, I decided to do things on the iPad too. In
Okay.
case for those kind of days where I can't get in the studio, but I can turn the iPad on to do something.
Yeah.
Or on the phone, at least just start, you know, just being active doing something and getting used to that, you know, sampling, going outside and sampling sounds around and putting them in the app and then later bringing them to the computer and working on it. But just being in the act of doing stuff, because that's how the universe is going to reward you. Okay, he's here. He's showing up. Give it to him.
Right.
Give him that hit. Give him that hit, you know. But when you don't, it's like, okay, well, you know,
Yeah.
you don't really act like you want it. So,
Yeah. And speaking of wanted, hit that like, share, subscribe button to that channel, damn it. Hit that notification bell so you know when we are doing our thing and things are happening, and spread
Exactly.
word. Spread the word, damn it. Spread the word.
exactly, guys. Come on.
Yeah. I think we're like at I think it was 554. We're trying to hit 1,000, man, by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's our goal.
That's the goal by the end of the year. So help us do that. please. Well, just help us do it if you support us. Again, it was great seeing these people, these fantastic looking people today. But sometimes you don't want to see them. We are also available Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Again, listen, when you're there, subscribe there also, because you get notifications that we have a new episode up, and they usually go up maybe the same day or the next day after we actually do the video. So Bert is back in the building, but I'm getting ahead of myself for a second. Follow us on Instagram, MS Live with D-KNOX. That is MS Live with D-KNOX. Also on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Myles Sergé. Bird is back. He's on his last leg, y'all. So we gotta get some mail coming in, and we're gonna get rid of him. MS Live with D-KNOX at gmail.com. That's MS Live with D-KNOX at gmail.com. Also, see that little QR code up in the corner with the little duck? Quack, quack, right there. If you want to support us, help donate, keep the machine running, you can Cash App us at Myles Sergé, or just simply scan that QR code. We greatly appreciate it. It goes to help funding this machine. So, yeah, do that. Please. Thank you. If you want, we can't, if you feel in, just do it. I don't know shit. Anyway, and I'm just talking. We also DJ and make music and do all sorts of stuff. So we are available for bookings. If you want to book me, Myles Sergé, I'm with Position 2 Bookings. So it's POS2bookings at gmail.com. Mr. D-KNOX, Dono Knox, Donnie D, however you know him, is through those people at Stellar Bookings. Booking at Stellar Bookings. Ooh, not S. Booking at stellarbooking.com. Hit them up. He's also available for his super dope live PA. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the, please, if you could book me for that. DJ sets, I'm still available for it, but would like to do the live set.
Yeah. He's also an actor too, so if you need somebody in that live video you got going on, or TED Talk, or wherever you do, he can do that too. So hit him up there. And also our great friends at Leakin Street. So this weekend only, if you go to this site, use promo code MS with D-KNOX for 20% off and free shipping. The link is on the Instagram page. Web address is below. www.leakinstreetsoap.bigcartel.com. The soap is dope. I use it. My family uses it. My friends use it. Check it out. It's handmade. It's the stuff. Support small businesses. That's what we do here too. And I also have my own little podcast for me. My mix is me, done by me. That's the link in the Instagram thing and all that stuff. It's actually on my SoundCloud page, but that is the playlist. It's there. Check me out if you want to. If you're not, I wish you would. It's right here too, see? Somewhere in a podcast. I got to support myself. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. So Check us out there. I think I'm missing something for some reason. I just don't know what, though. I don't know. Well, we'll do this. This is the first. So I'm going to ask Donnell to take us out today. This is all new. We're doing new stuff today. So Donnell has this. What's the segment we were going to do? The tip for the day. The something in the woods. I don't know.
Guys, sometimes, guys, you see us on Instagram, and we were doing this thing where we said tip for the day. Just show up. So meaning whatever it is you got to do, show up and do it every single day. Appreciate that you're alive, you're well, you're healthy. Show up and do it. But think of us when you hear tip for the day. I want you to think of Myles and I, and Roberto too, because he also coined that phrase too. Tip for the day. Just show up. So show up for yourself and do what you need to do. Despite the wind, despite others maybe telling you not to, despite no matter how you feel, if you feel tired or whatever, just get up and do it, whatever that is,
Yeah.
And yeah. I just feel like I'm just talking normal to them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, trying to keep you guys on a little bit longer so you can, you know,
hit those buttons and that damn QR code.
Come on.
And then y'all, we'll check you out next week. Next show post for the next guest is going up probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Go check it out. Until then, we thank you. We thank our guests. We thank everybody that took the time to tune in to us. We'll see you soon. See you next week. More changes to come in the new year, so we'll keep you updated on that. We're going to kind of slowly roll them out as we go. That being said, thank you. God bless you. Good night.